Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eric Garcia for Java 2 Term 1409. In this video I'm going to give you a brief overview of my Project 2. This week we were tasked with basically upgrading our Project 1 with 3 key features. As you can see here, the first feature was creating a preferences fragment which implemented 2 fields. One was a network option which allowed the user to basically say if he wanted to load fresh data from the external source, the API, every single time the application is launched, or if he preferred to load it from saved data. The second piece of the fragments was an option to clear the saved data that the API was saved on the device. So that was the first requirement. A second requirement was to implement a fragment in portrait mode as well as the landscape from week 1. So I'll show you that updated layout in a minute. And then the final was just a couple cosmetic differences, which was adding a personalized application name with my name describing what it was used and a background color. So jumping in, we will go ahead and run the application now, and I'll show you some of the features that we implemented. As you can see here, running in the emulator, I have it obviously launching in portrait mode, which basically gives you this list view up top, and when you select the date, it populates the information down below. Adversely, if you have it in landscape mode, you have them side by side with the list view over here, populating the details view on the right. Let's go ahead and put it back into portrait mode, and I will show you running through the overflow menu in the settings. It populates the preferences fragment. As you can see here, the default is checked to load fresh new weather data from the API, because that just seems to be the right thing to do when you have a weather application. But let's go ahead and show you what happens if we do not. I'll show you in the code that every single time we call the search weather, we check if that boolean from the preferences fragment is checked or not, and if it is checked, we will go ahead and check if we have a network connection, and if we have the network connection, we will go ahead and pull that new data. Otherwise, if it's unchecked, it loads it from the saved file. At first, we have to obviously create the safe zones to where we're checking if that file exists. If it doesn't, I go ahead and throw out an alert to the user saying there's no saved data, and we're going to go ahead and automatically pull some new data from the web. So I alert the user of that, and then again we check the network status and pull the new data if necessary. And I'll go ahead and show you how that works here. So we've set that. You can go back via the up button or the back button, and then if you hit refresh, it's actually still loading from the saved data because we still have it there. So let's go ahead and go back into the settings, and I'll show you that if you clear the cache and you have it to where you want to pull from the data, go back to the main activity, let it load here. Emulator's being a little slow here. Okay, so now if we hit refresh, it's not wanting to work for me. Clear the cache again. Okay, there you go. And then refresh, there's no saved data, so there's no saved data, so we're going to pull new fresh from data. So there you go. There's the new data pulled since the actual stored data was cleared. With that, that is the overview of my application. I'll go jump through the code really quickly. I went ahead and set up a separate activity for the settings. As you can see here, we go ahead and load in the content view. Then we create the settings fragment and replace the container here, which is just a linear layout, and then it loads in this settings fragment API, or not API rather, just the settings fragment with the 2 different preferences with the clear cache and refresh weather. With that, guys, it's been a great week. Look forward to moving on to week 3 and 4. Take care and good night.